Nice. I think that we're live. So, for those that are tuning in, this is a live stream for, kind of kicking off DeFi for the People initiative by the Celo org ecosystem. And then going to highlight some of the people who are building stuff inside of that ecosystem that are going to be involved in the DeFi for the People initiative. I got a fun announcement for you all, and that's who here those people are. This is Patrick from Moola Market, and the ever awesome Karima from Valora Wallet. And so, yeah, I'll do like a little welcome and an introduction to DeFi for the People. It's an initiative that Celo is doing with a number of other teams from the Web3 ecosystem, where we're trying to create a robust mobile-first DeFi experience for billions of people around the world. And in order to do that, we need to get buy-in and get the best builders from the entire Web3 ecosystem on board and helping us achieve that mission. So this initiative allows us to take a step closer to that future we want to see. And I'm happy to have Patrick and Karima here to tell us about their involvement and what they're excited for when it comes to DeFi for the People. So Patrick, I'll let you introduce yourself. Karima, you go right after.
Yeah, thank you, Jarrell. Nice to be here. And my name is Patrick. I'm the founder of Moola Market, which is a borrowing and lending platform on the Celo network that enables owners of Celo assets like Celo dollars, Celo euros, and the Celo native asset earn compound interest, which is paid for by borrowers who are able to take either over collateralized loans in perpetuity or short-term flash loans. And happy to pass it over to Karima.
Hi, everybody. My name is Karima, and I work at Valora. Valora is a mobile wallet where you can receive, send, and save your money as easy as sending a text message. And at Valora, I currently work on user, getting engagement and retention, and really making the best experience for anyone who downloads Valora.
Awesome. I'm glad. I think this is a good pairing to have. Moola Market runs very well with Valora. Valora is out here hoping to be integrated in more products like Moola Market. So it made sense to have you both on here. I guess like where I want to take this is, I want to just ask a quick question. And for you, we're calling this DeFi for the People. And so, Patrick, I know Moola Market's been live for a while. And Valora, I know you guys have had a number of like pilots that you've been involved in around the world. So I'll just ask the initial question. Who are the people to you when we say DeFi for the People?
Yeah, to me, DeFi for the People means everybody in the world who has access to a smartphone, regardless of the level of technology that you're working with, whether it's the newest iPhone or whether it's a feature phone, being able to get these types of financial tools into the hands of everybody so that they can achieve their own unique purpose and have access to all of the amazing financial free enterprise markets that we're used to and in certain parts of the world. So for me, DeFi for the People is about the non-crypto natives, but the broader community of people who we live amongst.
Yeah, nice. Karima.
Yeah. So, I mean, Patrick, that was a great, that's a pretty great answer. And I think it really embodies like the culture and the values of Celo as a whole. I really love that. And I agree that DeFi for the People is really about accessibility and people everywhere around the world being able to have access to these things that like DeFi, they're probably like, what does that mean? And being able to understand and feel like they can be a part of it. I also think that it'll go in stages. So it automatically won't be relevant to anyone with a mobile phone yet, but we're working on it. And I think that we'll be able to work down. So people who are kind of interested, we'll be able to tip them over, and then they'll be able to tip their friends over. And then it'll kind of be like a multiplier effect. I feel like that's how crypto is now. And the more we do things like this that focus on mobile first, the easier we'll be able to like have that multiplier effect.
Yeah, well said. Well said. So let me just ask, I guess on that topic, like, oh, I hope my internet isn't cutting out. On that
I'm
topic, I
still
think
here,
we
yeah.
talk. Okay, cool. I kind of want to know a little bit more about how Valora integrates into Moola Market, Patrick, and then I think that you also have maybe like a little bit of a surprise that you wanted to tell some people about.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and do the surprise, which was announced this morning on Twitter, and that's that in coordination with DeFi for the People, we are doing a triple incentivized set of staking pools. So what that means is that you can stake your mcUSD and MC Euro, which are forms of cUSD and C Euro deposited into Moola. You can stake those at Uniswap and earn triple incentives. So the incentives that are paid out are Moo tokens, UB tokens, and Celo. That's what we're adding to the mix. So this is the highest yielding stable coin pool that I know about, and you can access these pools on using Valora as the wallet to access and manage these tools.
Okay, awesome. So if I'm a user, I'm coming in, I hear these words, triple rewards. I am, let's say I'm part of the people. I've never really like used DeFi before. I'm just going in, I've established a text. Just tell me how I'm setting up an account here, Karima. And then Patrick, how am I getting involved in this?
Okay, so I mean, you're coming in, and usually if you come in through maybe Moola Market, you have to have a Valora wallet. So you would go to the App Store or the Google Play Store, and you would download Valora and go through just the onboarding, where you'll just learn about what Valora is and what you can do with it, and you'll get your private key and all of that good stuff and write down. And then the most important thing for you to be able to really participate in the Celo ecosystem is you'll verify your phone number so that your blockchain address is mapped to your phone number. And once you verified your phone number, you can unlock a lot of things to do with Valora, and as well as like using Moola.
Yeah. So now I have my Valora wallet. I'm flush. I got 500 Celo somehow, and I'm here to play. What am I doing, Patrick?
Well, you have options, Jarrell. The first thing you would want to do is go to app.moola.market, which is accessible in any browser. We chose to go the browser route as opposed to a native application route because we felt like it's more accessible to users. So you navigate to app.moola.market, and the first step is to connect your wallet, which will open up Valora and ask you to confirm that you want to connect with Moola. And then from there, you can initiate a deposit. And if your goal is to just earn compound interest on your dollars or your euros or your Celo, then you can make a deposit into Moola and just let it accumulate compound interest. You start earning interest as soon as you initiate the deposit.
Okay, awesome. I don't know if you have the ability to give us a demo or anything like that, but
Let's give it a try.
Yeah,
let's give it a try.
I see Marco Barbosa in the chat. Just want to give a shout out to Marco and Bernardo over at Impact Market. They're doing great work.
Yeah, 100%. Impact Market is an amazing platform, and definitely one that you should check out as well. So what we're seeing here is I'm on my phone, just streaming up to my second screen here, and I've got a Safari browser open. So the first step is to app.moola.market, which I've already done for us, and then I'm going to connect my wallet. So now I tap Connect Wallet, and it opens up a list of wallet options. Currently on mobile, the list consists of Valora. So I'm going to go ahead and tap Valora, click Open. It's going to open up my Valora wallet and ask me to allow the connection. And so what this is going to do is that this is going to associate my Valora wallet with the Moola the Moola Market, and I can tap to make sure that I'm connected and that I've got the right wallet. So now I have options. In this case, you can see that I have $0 deposited. If I wanted to get information about the market as a whole, say for example the size of the cUSD market, what the returns are, you can see that we have over $12 million in deposits. I can see what the borrow rates are, how much I'll earn if I decide to deposit and lend out my cUSD. Same as with the information with Celo euros. You can see we've got over $3 million in Celo euros deposited, and just under $70 million total in deposits, and about $10 million in total value borrowed. So this is global to the marketplace as a whole. When I navigate over to the account tab, that's specific to me. So if I wanted to see, for example, how much I have in my wallet, I just tap the drop down button for Celo, for example. We could see that I have 1.32 Celo, and I've got about $4 of cUSD in my wallet. And so I want to earn compound interest. So the first thing that I'm going to do is that I'm going to initiate a deposit. So I tap deposit, and it gives me an option. Which currency do I want to deposit? In this case, let's do dollars. So I'll come in here. I'm going to manually type in $4, click next, and we've got the confirmation screen. You can see that the cost for submitting these transactions is very, very low. I'll show that actually as soon as this transaction is confirmed. The first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to allow it. Excuse me. It's going to ask me to input my PIN code to verify that this is my intention. And this transaction should take about 5 seconds to clear and settle on the network. And as soon as it is completed, then we'll pull up the Explorer link and we'll be able to see all the information about this. So there we go. So that's how long the transaction took. The Blockchain Explorer, it looks like, is still updating. Sometimes that takes a little bit longer. We'll give it a we'll give it a refresh, and we'll come back to it. I don't want to hang there and wait for the Explorer to link. Jarrell, is there anything in particular that you would like to see? I can show you a borrow transaction. I can show you yield farming. What would you like to see?
I mean, I think everyone wants to see a little bit of yield farming. That does seem to be a hot topic of 2020, 2021. And then I think I would love to know, I think there's more assets being created on Celo every other week or so. So I wanted to know, like, what your rollout plan is, and like how more assets are you hoping to stick to the native stable coins, or like is the bridge with other assets exciting for you as well?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And so we're in the process of essentially getting ready to be able to scale up the quantity of assets that we support. So the next ones that we anticipate adding are wrapped Bitcoin and wrapped Ether, which will come pretty soon. But once the cross-chain bridge goes live, which I'm told is coming pretty soon, then we're going to start adding assets from other chains as well. To be determined which ones specifically we're going to be adding, but I expect to see the pace pick up quite a bit.
Yes. Spam the chat with whatever assets you think Patrick should add once the bridge is live.
Yeah, what do you want?
Like I just welcomed yeah.
I mean, honestly,
the crazy degens are going to come in here and be like, Chainlink, add Chainlink.
Yeah. Look, I'm happy to support the assets that folks want to be able to borrow against with a low cost and high speed. Speaking of the low cost, there we go. Now this the Blockchain Explorer has loaded, and I just want to point out the transaction fee for depositing was less than 1,000th of a Celo, since there's no time deposit requirements on Moola, and the transaction costs are so cheap, what that means is that even small dollar borrowers, small dollar lenders are able to put whatever money they have into a position where it earns compound interest for as long as they're able to. And when they need their money and they need to withdraw, they can do that, and they don't have to worry about basically eating away all the gains that they may have incurred by paying gas fees. That's just not that's not a consideration on Celo. That's one of the beautiful things of being a proof of stake network.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, I see. Marco's in the chat saying that you'll be having Impact Markets coin live once their token is pushed, which I will say that some of the best parts of this whole DeFi for the people thing, I mean, like you just mentioned it, like, doesn't matter if borrowers have like a small amount or lenders and all that, like they can just do with what they've got. And something that does excite me about the Impact Market UBI is like these tools starting to be both available to people like in those regions with their like 19,000 strong UBI system, but also I'm excited for pools in like Moola Market and in sushi. And I'm currently talking, Marco, a little bit of leaked out here. I'm currently talking to the pool together guys to be like, hey, how can you like create pools that are specifically for these communities that are coming from like the Impact Market UBI system, getting like 70 cents to 57 cents a day. So I think like the next step for a lot of these, I think for other ecosystems, the next step is like what coin next, how am I going to get more yield next? But I think that Celo has an opportunity here to kind of create an engine of prosperity and not just like talk about it, you know, with the help of all these DeFi protocols coming in here. And I know your team is just like engineers and you, and I know the Pool Together team is literally just engineers and you, and Marco's team is literally just engineers and him. So I think that with that, like the zeitgeist of Celo and just like such raw engineering power coming to it, to the ecosystem, there's a lot of new things that can happen that we haven't seen in other chains. You know, I see a lot of chains just copying each other, and I'm excited to see what native, unique things come out of all of this.
Yeah, you hit the nail on the head that we really do have an opportunity to do composability for good. And I think that there's a lot of ways that can be expressed and that can be implemented. For example, something that I've talked about previously and we're still working on is the ability to forward your interest earned to another address, such as, for example, forwarding some of the interest earned to Impact Market UBI. There was a discussion earlier about essentially forwarding some of the protocol revenue and redirecting some of the protocol revenue to Impact Markets, and that's something that could be introduced through governance. But I think that that's an absolutely beautiful thing to do. And when you combine that with another primitive like Pool Together, what you get is a mechanism where you can get a capital base that keeps growing and growing. And essentially, you create this engine of prosperity that's able to grow and kick cash off to the communities that need it. You know, this is the tip of the iceberg in terms of what's possible, and you know, how we can take this technology to the world and really have a positive impact.
Yeah, I mean, it's coming. I think I'm now reminded of the very first time we published the paper for Celo, and then we like started to get out there and start talking to people. I think we had this like cool video we were sharing around that basically its thesis statement was, what if money were beautiful? And I think that years later, now really the question becomes like, what if DeFi were beautiful? and that's where I'm excited to see things head. I think we should bring back Karima here for a second, because I think I have some questions then. You see all these people like coming over the DeFi for the people. You've got Pool Together, you've got like Curve, you've got others. We've got Patrick, who's OG to this community, about to like pop off rewards, and like you've got the Impact Market guys can't wait to launch their own tokens. So like, let us know what's going on for you in the future. Like Valora is basically this OG, like you guys were the Genesis wallet, right? Like you were the Genesis project of what could be built from the Celo community. Yeah. So I'd love to know what you guys have coming up, and if you can tell us.
I can tell you that we are focused and working on, you know, making sure that we bring the DeFi tools built on Celo straight to the Valora users. And we're working really hard on introducing a lot of new amazing things this fall. And recently we introduced Celo in the app. So we're working on it, and we're working on making sure that our users have a really great experience. It's really important to us. So we look forward to introducing some really cool things in the fall.
No, all right, nice. Well, let's go ahead and try and bust out a couple of these questions. I can take care of a couple of them. Is it possible that Celo is going to be a CBDC? I mean, anything's possible. Celo itself, of course, would not be a CBDC. One of the stable coins that would be the native stable coins like Celo dollar, cUSD, or C euro, those things could be like utilized as a CBDC. Or in reality, I guess a central bank could create their own CBDC on top of Celo and have that added if the validators voted, add it to the Celo native stablecoin roster. But that's really how it works. Celo itself, of course, would not be, because it is the native asset that allows the treasury to do its awesome tricks. I think there's a question
also
here. Oh, yeah.
Gerald, I just want to add on to that the Monetary Authority of Singapore just released a list of finalists for a CBDC initiative project. Not sure the correct word to describe it. And C Labs, one of the teams building on Celo, was included in that in the finalists. So it looks like there's some very active work on that front and potential there.
I was I was involved in reviewing that application and like helping out. But big old shout out to our boy Ezekiel Kopic. He's our guy leading all those initiatives, trying to get us involved with those types of communities. So yeah, exciting stuff. I think if anyone can do it, considering we have the IMF behind us and others, I think it might be Celo.
100%.
So I think Alexander Becker would like to know, Patrick, what will be next plans for the Moo token besides voting?
Yeah, that's a great question, and good to see you, Alexander. So we've got a lot of things queued up. We're going to be rolling out a desktop optimized version of Moola. We're going to be migrating over to version 2 of our of the contracts, which will enable a number of new features, including things like credit delegation, which I'm very excited about because this will give us an ability to essentially create unsecured loans. Currently, if you want to borrow from Moola, you have to post collateral, which is great for DeFi natives, but it doesn't have much real world application to people who we're ultimately going to serve. But this mechanism will unlock the ability to coordinate unsecured lending. We're going to be adding new markets and creating a mechanism to quickly plug and play when we decide to do that, as well as launching our governance contracts so that the Moo token can be used to manage the protocol. And also, we're building an ultra high yielding version of cUSD. It's the idea is essentially to give people who are not interested in figuring out the idiosyncrasies of yield farming the highest yield possible. So it'll be a dollar denominated stablecoin that under the hood is doing all sorts of algorithmic yield farming and giving the users the highest yield possible. So those are some of the priorities, and you can certainly check out our Discord server to see the full list of development priorities.
When I say that is exciting, that made me so excited to hear that yield farming made easy. What? I've been waiting out for that.
I'm so very down for that. I think it's funny because like I know how we sound like as crypto people I know how we sound to normal people because of how quickly yield farming took off and how yield farming people sounded when they talked to me. Like I like kind of sometimes I'm just like, okay, yes, but like calm down. It's not that simple. I feel like I get stuck in conversations where I'm like, dude, you gotta stop talking. So I think another really good question. So Florida life, my Florida life, man, with the Afro coming to us from YouTube, the things like telecoin, RSR. I think I want to just like stress when we talk about gain that market from them. I'm not sure that anyone's like really had enough market. There's not like enough market with telecoin and those to like gain a market from them. I talk to teleco companies all the time about Celo. I work with like the Deutsche Telekom engineering team on some of the initiatives that they're looking to roll out with Celo. I talk to numerous accounts with teleco companies, and really I'll let you know that they have no idea what's going on with crypto, and they just want people to tell them, and they like the idea that there's mobile first stuff. But for them, their biggest thing was like, okay, but how do you actually reach users? And for having mobile apps that are actually like text message enabled user accounts, like that's something that's really valuable to them. To give you like a peek under the hood, stuff that teleco companies are connected with is a lot of things you wouldn't even think about. Yeah, sure, they involve themselves with communities of like communication, but like teleco companies also like are partners with huge brands like Adidas and like the teams that they sponsor. And like, you know, NFTs are a pretty big deal. So imagine like all the things that you might be doing if you were a teleco company and you had a mobile app and you were trying to do, I don't know, maybe like an NFT on a quick layer, layer one, such as Celo. So these things are definitely out there. And people like Telecoin and RSR do not have like the actual capacity for those types of initiatives, or even the talent. No offense, obviously, I don't mean to say like they aren't talented, but it takes a huge team of people to pull this stuff off on a global scale. So let's ask a couple more questions, and then where do you think Celo will be in 1 year? Same place it's always been, baby, grinding. No, hopefully we'll have brought, you know, 1 billion people into the world of crypto. I think realistically, like just exposing, I think even through just impact market alone, like they've exposed 19,000 people in less than almost exactly a year, I think, to crypto. I enjoy exponential growth and like Malthusian principles as much as the next person. So I like to think about what happens when degens and people that are receiving UBIs get more involved with each other. What happens when these flows of capital are much quicker and much more accessible? So it sounds pretty crazy, but like, oh, we should get 1 billion people involved in like crypto. In 5 years, not too bad. I don't think that's like actually that crazy of a statement. I mean, I know personally how many engineers are leaving like regular Web 2 jobs to come work in crypto. And if the talent that's building the world's technological foundations is leaving and going to crypto, I think there's a good chance that the people who are using the world's technological foundations also leave and go to crypto. So yeah. And then yeah, Peter Thiel, my Florida life. Let's just talk offline about Peter Thiel and the Thiel communities. So yeah, see, Marco's in the comments like he can onboard many more, millions next year, billions this decade. Yeah, I love the strength there. I love the confidence. And then I think there's one saying, will Moola token have staking? And I think, Nate, that's just called Moo.
That's a good question. So you can already stake it on Uniswap along with other tokens to provide liquidity to those liquidity pools. And if I'm able to show my screen again, I'll just show quickly. Here we go. So I've navigated over to where the staking mechanism is, and if you would like to participate in the triple pools, for example, the MCUSD, MC Euro, you would come in here, click deposit, and deposit your ULP tokens, and then confirm the transaction. There's a step before that where you have to provide liquidity on Uniswap, but it's really quite simple. And if you have questions, just come into our Discord server, and we'll be able to answer those for us. Yeah, that's it.
I know that we're probably coming up on time, but I actually think this is a really great question. Happy to have you here, Mr. Madden Nelson. Hopefully, I hope for this question you'll be Mr. Glad Nelson. I actually think about this a lot when it comes to like risk averse communities, which is what crypto is. Like our risk aversion is super high. We're ready to like get in there and do things like that. But I think when you talk about user interfaces, you can look at what already exists. And this is such a like high classist type thing to say, to just give an example, but like when you have a 401k or different accounts like that, people who are in the banking industry don't actually expect you to know everything about how to bank and what the stock market looks like. In fact, they're actually kind of banking on you not knowing that. So what happens when you set up your 401k is they're like, what do you like? Do you like like agriculture stocks? Do you like this? And you have a little scale or like a 1 to 5, and you like tell them, this is my comfort level with having stocks that are in technology, or I'm interested in being involved in like, you know, the textile industry. And I don't think that we have to stray too far from that when it comes to these staking, like Patrick's talking about, you know, creating tools that'll automatically find you the best yield and like maybe the least risk and stuff like that. I think those same questions or that same style of user onboarding experience can exist in DeFi. And it'll actually probably, with all the memes and the community support and the Discord servers, be a lot more of a rewarding experience for people than maybe if they were to set up like a 401k and go into like Charles Schwab or Fidelity and like try and figure all of that stuff out. So these like seem like really complex tools right now because we're watching the foundation be built. In the future, we have people who can break that down and create onboarding experiences that welcome everyone, no matter what their technological experience.
Can I interject here?
Yes.
I love this question because when they're talking about liquidity pools and all of stuff like that, I think that there are easier ways to participate in DeFi, and it can be as simple as using Valora and just making a deposit. And by doing that, you automatically will earn interest on your cUSD balance. And so there are no applications involved, you know, there's no red tape or anything like that. And I think things that are that simple will definitely attract people who don't feel like they have a strong tech background or educational background. If you tell someone, hey, just deposit here and you'll earn, you know, X, Y, and Z for, you know, holding your crypto or your money in this wallet, I think that will be another thing like to bridge the gap between people. And I think some people in some places, like they like the risk there is like the reward is almost as big as the risk that they would take if they were in crypto, in my opinion. Like some people don't have the luxury of all the things that we have, a 401k and the stock options, and they only have this kind of thing available to them. So I'm excited of getting it into the hands of people who are in these communities.
Yeah, and I will say I'm going to send it to our video manager so that they can post the comment because I can't post. But just on top of that, like to talk about how easy it is to get involved, there's a team called ETH Trust. They came after and they joined a hackathon that I was running for Celo, and now they're on Celo called Zapote, but they're an ATM team. And they demoed me this awesome ATM where the whole point was not that I was like taking money out. The whole point was that it was just a remittance area where I could deposit cash no matter what kind of fiat I'm holding, and then have it automatically sent to my Celo address. And from there, like it's all touchscreen stuff, but like from there, then you have it on your phone as well. And you're like, okay, cool. I just deposited cash and now it's sitting in this address and on my wallet, and now I can just like throw it onto Moola or anything like that. And what they're really excited about is like they're actually integrating Moola and other apps directly into these touchscreen ATMs. So it makes no sense that people who use ATMs already are like just letting their cash sit there. I think it's a brilliant idea. Shouts out to Chris Hughes. We're getting a lot of questions. I'm just going to assume, Larisha, that I'm allowed to keep going because I want to make sure everyone's questions get answered. I don't know you guys if that's all right.
For sure.
But so beyond mobile applications, are you working on more generalized blockchain projects as well? Or is your main focus bringing global mobile adoption payment systems? He's researched us, but he's just wondering. So I think it's super obvious where our value add is to the current blockchain ecosystem for other blockchains that are out there trying to bridge over. They're like, hey, we can get access to a bunch of mobile users really easily by utilizing Celo. So I think that's always been a big push for us and like a big understanding of like what we bring that's different to the table. But at the same time, we have a ton of engineers doing a ton of different things. We got people creating stuff like Stake Wallet, like Alex Hartley, and that's like a whole different way of getting involved in the Celo ecosystem. And there's people who are building, you know, browser wallets. There are people who are building browser-based applications. There are people like building all sorts of different tooling on Celo. It's just no matter what, like in the end, we don't want to forget why we're here, which is to create a mass adoption of crypto for those who aren't necessarily around laptops or desktops. So I think you guys probably have stuff to add to that as well.
I do. It's a great question, and one of the things that drew me into the Celo ecosystem initially is the fact that it is very much a mission-first group that looks for the right tool to achieve that mission, or the right set of tools to achieve that mission, and that mission is achieving prosperity for everybody. And the set of tools that we've coalesced around is mobile devices. And so, you know, ultimately it's okay, here's the mission, and how do we achieve that mission? And if that it requires building a new set of tools or adjusting the focus, then that can be done. But that's a great question. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, Florida, pull up in the Discord, tag me, let's have a conversation. And then I think I don't understand exactly what ACE is, so I'm not sure I'm the best one to ask that or answer that question. But how can I connect my Valora wallet? It does not seem to be part of onboard.js. Is there another library to be used? I'm going to let you take this, Patrick, because I feel like you have the most updated knowledge.
Yeah, I'm going to kick that question over to the Discord. If you post it in Discord, then we'll get you an answer.
Shouldn't be too bad. But yeah, I just think I think that's pretty much it for us with questions. I really appreciate both you guys being here, but also everyone who came in and spammed the chat with your great questions. Marco, shouts out to you in the chat. Shouts out to Impact Market entirely. Everything y'all are doing is amazing. And yeah, I'm super happy to you know have helped kick off this DeFi for the People initiative, and I'm just happy that Moola Market. I mean, y'all were already here. You guys are the first to kind of like show what you got and bring it to the table, and it's going to be really exciting for a lot of people. Karima, Valora is amazing, and I'm excited to see what you guys all have next coming up in the fall. So yeah, stay tuned, everybody. But yeah, thanks for joining, and I think we'll do another one of these live streams soon. Keep an eye out on our social channels. Larisha's in charge of that. I'm just happy to be here and talk to y'all. So thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks. Bye.